Yes, people. So, welcome to the first episode of the Flowcast with myself, the classic ghost, Leon J. Pearce, and the fucking human cannonball himself, aka reincarnated Bob Paris, Mr. Ryan Brambleby. How are we doing, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Not too bad. Nervous for this, as we were just saying before we recorded it, because for anyone that don't know, me and Leon, absolute apes with technology and anything like scientific speak or anything. We are very much the epitome of bro science, I think, ain't we? So
yeah, man. Trust me. But now I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good opportunity for us to be able to just get some good content out there for the posers, people that want to know some questions that we can pick our brains as well on the Q&As, and hopefully we get some physique analysis as well, so we can break down people's posing and stuff in future episodes, which will be pretty cool. So I think first off with the Flowcast, we're going to start with a Q&A, as we've had on our stories for the last couple of days, just general questions from people and stuff about posing, obviously. So I'll kick off with a few first, and then we'll rotate back and forth through each other's questions, I think. So, right. Yes, first one I got was from the Egg, Christian. Shout out, Christian. He said, main body parts we both want to bring up this off season before we compete again. I'll let you go first.
I think we covered it when we did a little Q&A for the site. Like, we're pretty both balanced bodybuilders. But I want a fucking big set of arms, man. I think, like, in classic, the way like you could classically pose and stuff, you can get away with not having a fantastic chest or back if you've got like a great set of arms and legs. Like, just the casual poses look great on you, and I think the casual poses are what suits me best, you know, like not the big reaching ones and stuff. But I'd love like bigger hams, bigger calves, and bigger arms, man, because love a fucking set of arms, really.
Yeah, man, you can never have big enough arms. You know what I mean? No one ever said, you know what, his arms are too big or his back's too big. You know, it's always his calves are too small.
Big arms themselves.
Yeah, exactly. It's always his calves are too small. So I think everyone would like bigger calves. Do you know what I mean? But I think it just, like I say, for myself as well, like, it's just a case of growing everything bigger. Like, there's nothing, I would say, a specific, apart from like some bigger calves would be nice, but a man can only hope.
Yeah, there's nothing lacking, but I think it's like analysing your physique and seeing like, okay, if something really, really popped in that area, it would give it much more depth to the look.
Yeah. Some new girth wouldn't be too bad, you know what I mean?
You need the girth, I need the length, we can make it work.
Yeah, that's out here, chode collective. Fuck, So so the next one we've got is, this one is from Soph. Shout out Soph from Physique Collective as well. She said, thoughts on women having to wear heels when competing? I presume she means when competing in that context. What's your thoughts?
I think it's a strange one. I think it's because like Soph's category figure is the bridge between the muscularity but keeping the femininity of it. So I think that's why it's still in, because in women's physique, I believe they don't have to wear shoes, and like in bodybuilding either. So it is just flat out like, go and do your comparisons, your quarter turns, and then your routine. Because in figure, do they have to take them off in figure? I'm sure, yeah. Obviously they take them off.
It? Yeah, they do the routine and then they put them back on for the eye walk, isn't it?
Yeah. I suppose it's just a personal preference, isn't it? Because some girls love to keep the femininity in figure, and that's why they want to stay in figure, and that's why they're like maybe cautious of pushing drugs or anything like that. So I guess it's just a little bit more to make them feel a bit more feminine as well.
Yeah. Like, I say they play their place as well. Like, they have their place because obviously you're judged on the glutes as well, and obviously the way the heels are positioned is so you can show off the glutes a lot better as well. It's just that angle, isn't it? So you're more, you know what I mean? You're like more personal.
Yeah.
It's an easier way to show the glute better. So
I was expecting you to say the bunda then, that's why. This is Leon's favourite.
Heels are made for the bunda. Bunda.
Oh, mate. Yeah, yeah. I think it's just a bridge, like just trying to keep the femininity with your muscularity, and obviously, some girls might not care about that, but might not want to push the health side of going into physique and bodybuilding that a little bit further. So I guess that is the reason for it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Um,
I'll let you throw a question out. What you got?
what have I got? Should we go for big natty Perrin, who doesn't look natty in the slightest?
My man has been double dosing creatine since day dot.
He's fucking huge. So shout out Perrin when you watch this. Perrin has asked, what is the criteria for classic and what makes a classic physique? So, I mean, me and you could argue all day with everyone until the cows come home about this, I think.
This is like, I was on the OPD podcast with Joe and Austin, we filmed up the other day, and this was like, it's varying like in so many different directions at the moment, classic physique, because you get ones where they're so to the criteria of the guys that look like the old school and the guys that have got like either like a small waist, the wide set shoulders, structure, nice flow physiques and posing. And then you got shows where the smallest or the biggest bodybuilder is winning the class and beating
but
guys.
It'll be the same fed as well, which is like so confusing.
It's mixed emotions. I think it's just so up in the air with classic at the moment. Like there's no that you can argue it all day long. At the end of the day, it seems to come down to the biggest dude in the class is winning.
I think as well, that's why like you've got to just, no matter what happens on show day, you've got to just actually be happy with what you've bought there. Because otherwise, if you don't feel like that, you don't feel rewarded in that, you're just going to spit your dummy out, which I have done a couple of times. But like, what can you do, man? Like, if you're happy with what you build, like I didn't give a shit at Two Bros. Like I got spanked, but I was like well over the moon with what I bought as the best ever. So
yeah, because even in your lineup, if you was judging off of who was the most classic in your lineup, bro, you should have won that 5 times over. But yet again, the biggest dude won. Do you know what I mean?
It was not like Ross did spank me a lot. Like I like Ross that won it. He was like it weigh-ins, mate. He was in front of me with the same height. He was 190, I was 170. I was like, this dude is jacked to fuck. And like behind backstage, he was like, I remember we'd come off stage, so we'd done our comparisons and waiting for our routines. And he must have just had some fucking jam or something, and he was just doing this. And bro, I've never seen someone so peeled and vascular in my life. And everyone was like, holy shit, he looked mad. So like Ross did deserve to win, but you know what as well, it's like rewarding when you've come off stage and you've had a bit of a shit result, but like people that you don't even know come up to you like IFBB pros and message you or something like, mate, you absolutely shone through there. So it's like, just stay true, man. Just build what you see as a classic physique rather than worry about what everyone else thinks is.
Damn straight, man. That's great. That's what you want to do though, isn't it? Focus on yourself, not what everyone else is doing. Don't be a sheep.
Exactly. You want to go again or me?
Yeah, I'll have another one. So this is probably one for you because you'll probably know more than me. This is another one from Soph. Soph said, favorite women's physique poser.
Oh, I don't know women's physique. Is the classical queen in physique, or is she in?
She is. I think she's physique. I think she is. Yeah. Oh, would you know that would have been my pick? That one or the real what's her name? The one that does the posing with Kai Green. Have you seen her? The one
Iris, is it Iris Kyle? But she isn't she
No, not Iris Kyle. She's like 104 kg. She's wham.
Yes, that's bodybuilding, because Michaela Aycock's gone to bodybuilding now as well, didn't she? She was my favorite in physique, but yeah, I love Alicia's stuff, like the classical queen. I did think before she used to hit stuff. Oh, I don't want to say like a boy, but she showed stuff that was.
But this is good though. Like,
I mean, is she's changed her posing in the last year to be a bit more feminine, and it's like not that she has to do that, but it suits her so much better. Like actually, she's put more beauty rather than just like throwing some Arnold arm shots in there. I think she's really, really good.
yeah, do you know? I don't mind like that though. I think this is another one that Soph, funny enough, posted I think today about women's routines and routines in general. Like if the men can put like the classic-y, the poses on it, why aren't the women doing it as well? And I agree with that as well. Like if it should be like if you're doing like women's physique and stuff, and you can showcase a nice routine.
Yeah, I massively
and to throw that in there. Like, but there is some that come from dance backgrounds and stuff, and they do have some ridiculously good routines.
Yeah.
which is always nice to see.
I think as well, like it was probably even about 5 years ago, there used to be course categories and everything, man. And I think in IBFA they still do it. So like a bloke and his wife or whoever like can enter it and enter as a couple. And I think like those routines are like really, really good because you got people that like really cared about posing as well and made something actually fun to watch and emotional as well because they like obviously were with each other and whatever.
Yeah, man. That's what it's about. Oh, was another good one actually. When we got some posing tips now. So tips for anyone who struggles to open up their back on a reverse pose. So obviously, i.e. rear lat spread, which is probably a really common one, isn't it? There's a lot of people that can't, they come in too tense and their lats are holding and they can't get them to sit right.
I had a guy in this morning that was like that. I think the way I teach it, I don't know whether you teach it the same still, is like don't put any tension in the upper back. Like the only tension you should feel in a rear relaxed is imagine like someone's over accentuated a rack pull and they're just pulling at their lower back. So from that point on, your collarbone, is fixed down, like your clavicle is down. Just relax your scapula and lats, and with your clavicle and collarbone down, you can't roll your traps over. So like get someone behind you, your training partner, your partner, anything, and just keep your collarbone down and just get them to spread it like fully around, relax everything, no tension in it whatsoever. And you'll find you'll get there. It's when people think to connect with their back like a lot and try and pose with their back and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're trying to activate too many muscles at once, aren't they? Like they come into it. It's like, I think unless you're like genetically gifted to be able to do that, there's a lot of guys that can just go like bang, bang, and they've already got a slab and it just looks perfect. Whereas someone like myself, I struggle. I have to come up nice and slow, not move the shoulder blades at all, put the palms flat to the back, thumbs down, come right underneath the lower lat, and then just tuck it around, relax them, then tense afterwards. And that's how I get it to activate. Right?
That's a good tip as well. Like where people put their thumbs from a lat spread, whether it's the front or the back. Yeah. Start with your thumbs on your spine, where your lats join your erectors at the Christmas tree at the bottom of the back. Because you imagine the way the lat actually moves and contracts is like supinated and under and through. So you want to be able to mimic that coming under and through and spread under and around. So start with where your thumbs join the bottom rather than too high or at your hips, because it just doesn't match up with the movement of the lat, like how it's going to stretch out and around. And if you keep your collarbone down, you can spread as far around as you can if your thumb's at that point anchoring on.
It's a setup, innit? It's the same with anything. You need to prep or set up before you can attempt something. It needs to, like the foundation from any kind of pose, like a front relaxed, it starts from the feet up.
Have sturdy legs, like set your hips nice and sturdy, feet facing outwards so they're like hands are contracting against each other. You have a strong base, and then that's set. Then your back should be near enough relaxed.
Yeah, man. Give us another one then. Let's have one from you.
Give us another one. So, I'll do a quick shout out. Mr. Off, the man himself, didn't ask a question. He just said, "Bonjour, monsieurs." Bonjour, monsieur. Not a question, just wishing my boys well. So I just want to shout him out and say thank you for that very much.
My G.
He is a class actor.
Jose.
Jose, if you're watching this as well, we need you to do some voiceover introduction for this podcast.
Oh, yes, he could do the Big Brother one, couldn't he?
Like that X Factor guy.
Yeah, man, he's bang on with the voiceovers, and he needs to get scouted from Disney or something, I swear.
I don't think he belongs at Disney.
He belongs at some sort of film work he needs to do. He's brilliant.
We've got a Rate My Physique from George Wilson, GW Physique. If you want to hammer Instagram up, he says, "Rate my off-season belly." So you know what, George? We'll actually rate your physique.
Give me a second. Let me share that screen right now. Let's go. So.
Yeah, man, we did it in one. Look at that.
Right. GW Physique. There we go.
Jeez, look at the girth on the man.
Put the size of him. Man is looking wham. He's out here hitting lat spreads like Leon J. Pearce. Look at him. Jeez.
No, absolutely no gaps. You know what? I thought it started a mini cut. And you know, when someone says that, you always think, you fucking wanker, you think I look small. But for some reason, I thought he was dieting. And then I seen him put off the end of his growth phase. It looks fucking massive.
112 kg farted this morning. I'm not, bro. Man must be back in girth.
How much you weigh now?
I was 102 this morning after last night's pizza.
Bro.
Jeez.
Mate,
yeah, man, he looks good. You know, I like George. I've got a lot of time for George, actually. He's got a good physique.
Yeah, dead sound. You know what? George can pose well as well, which I like.
Yeah, he puts the effort in with the presentation early on before he even considers about competing. And that's what you need to do in it.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get the presentation and at least be able to feel your lats before even attempting to step on a stage. Otherwise, you're going to look like some sort of fucking slender.
I thought you were going to name drop somebody.
I nearly did. You're going to look like some stiff, slender man that's just lagged out in a lobby. That's what you're going to look like.
Yeah, flick on next man on his photos on the actual photo, because that was a few there. Man can pose.
Yeah, man. Look, man's hitting these poses and that classic
He's
one.
blew his legs up
This
as well.
one I like as well. This one you set up for him, wasn't it? Look,
Yeah. Asked me to do a routine for him. He nails it nicely, man.
Looking like the god of war out here, Kratos. Jeez. Yeah, man. I do like this. I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the stage, actually.
Yeah. Is he doing a show next year?
I think he's probably going to be looking at it. I'd say so. I mean, he's got to do it, and he's got to jump in there and fucking smash some overalls, I'd say.
Yeah, he's got.
And another thing for George as well.
Either.
Look how much his legs have come up as well, like since being obviously the wizard. Man went from like...
He's put like 4 inches on his legs.
Yeah, there to there. They've come right up. That's good. Anyhow.
Man's a beat.
So, back to the things.
What we got next, man? So, mate, you can always count on him to ask a question, can't you? Big lactic addict Luke.
Yeah, man, he's in there. He's everywhere.
Luke, we just want to say as well, this has been in our group chat. Man's going up to Supplement Needs booth, repping a Physique Collective shirt and having photos. What a legend.
Yeah. Do you know what, Luke? I'll give you a free posing session for that. Drop me a DM and I'll give you a free session for that. What a G. What a G.
I hope you promoted it like $6.99 a month, asking if they've got the app yet.
Oh, man. Brilliant.
He's asked, how do you think feds could judge posing to make the competitors care more? So I guess this has come off the back of the Arnold of just nobody really giving a good posing routine. I can't say that really about Classic. Do you know what I think it is as well? Everyone thought Classic would take over the Open, but it never ever will. No. And what has happened is it's just detached it a little bit more from the Open, I think. So the Open bodybuilders are like, let them do their thing, while we let them do their pose and do whatever they want. And the Open bodybuilders are just like pushing it again. Like this, mate, nobody is getting smaller. Nobody's getting more streamlined. Like fucking huge.
They're massive. Like watching Nathan Diasha last night, it was wham. But he did actually do a little bit of a posing routine actually as well, didn't he, Nathan? But then at the end, he finished it off. I counted it, and he did 15 most musculars in a row.
To be fair, it is his best shot. He can't beat it.
Not going to question it for Nathan Diasha because they're the best most musculars about, but he's the man, any king of the North. But
I actually don't think how they could improve it though, because at the Arnolds it is marked. Their posing routine is. Yeah,
that's because he did a nice bit at the start, but it did finish it off with a lot of most musculars. I was like, rah, my man's going ham with the most musculars.
I think the only way they could change it is if the judges favour presentation more. But if they favour presentation more and people start placing above people that are like cream of the crop, it'll just piss all the fans off, man. I don't actually think there's much that can be done about it other than like the guys that compose just stay true and do it. And not be lazy like Sergio, man. That like let me down.
Yeah, I know he recognised that as well. Like, I was going to touch on that from one of these questions. Actually, we might as well hit this question now. If someone said, I can't remember who it was, but they was like, break down the best and worst posing from the Arnold's USA last weekend. So for me, the best posing would be between Logan's routine and obviously Terrence's routine, because I feel like they overlooked Terrence's routine because Terrence's was a lot more difficult than Logan's. Like Logan's looked good, yeah, didn't it? It did look really good, and it did.
You know what
make
it is?
the drop a bit, but
I think it's because Arnold has seen it and really liked it, and I think maybe had an influence on it with him winning the best posing routine, because he hits some fucking absolute power poses, but then there's a few poses that he hit that it doesn't hit correctly.
Yeah, and like he played it today.
Like real rhythmic and all the way through. Like he'll have 2 or 3 moves where he'll fly through them and look really good, and then something won't work so well, or he'll just like crouch down, like just it's not. Whereas Terrence's is like on another level, man. Imagine how long it must take to write that and choreograph the entire like 3-minute thing together with no mistakes.
Right, and he even put the Lee Labrada turn in there as well. Did you see it? The arrow? Did you catch that?
Yeah.
He even did that. That's the rotating arrow. But
I like that. That's hard to do without like just jumping around, like jolting.
Just nuts. Like the way he transitions, like from both sides. Like he's not like most poses will hit a pose just one side, isn't it? Like they'll just show one side and they can't hit different variations from either side. But Terrence is going from like here to here to here to here. It's like it's mad, and they're all bang on both sides.
It's so good. I love like classical posing as well, but I love how he's modernized it without butchering anything in the slightest.
Literally,
it looks so good.
Holds every pose as well, because that's another one of the worst pet peeves is when you watch someone pose and not one pose is hit in the routine. There's a lot of arms flapping about, but not one pose actually hit.
There's a lot of that this season that's gone on. A lot. Busy fools.
Yep.
But worst posing.
Worst posing, yeah, would have been. I wouldn't really say it was the worst of the day, but the worst of his career was
Sergio's.
It was just lazy. Like I swear he was free posing.
He didn't give a fuck about it. Like he didn't practice that once. And I think, yeah, it's fine. But instead of saying, look, guys, like I know I didn't practice as much, he fucking did a massive paragraph slagging everyone off about not putting effort in posing. And then when someone shared it, he then said, oh, this was my worst posing ever. I haven't even tried and stuff.
He left it to like the last week, like what everyone else seems to be doing at the minute.
Yeah. Can you fit me in?
Yeah, can you fit me in? I'm 4 hours out, but I need a routine and I want it done to this song. Can you do it for me?
Oh, mate. I've got that all season. I swear every single season. You know what I need to stop doing? I need to stop saying yes to everybody because I'm just so fucking stressed all the time.
You get the Christian effect and just say, do you know what? Fuck off.
You can't do it though, can you? When we're trying to build a brand and like something special with posing Physique Collective. Like,
he loves the word fuck off so much. Brand on it. 0 fucks given from that man. I love it. Good one. Good couple here from Mr. Joe Jeffrey, the main man. First one being, how often would you recommend practicing your mandatories in an off season?
I think if you are ridiculously busy, look, I know like I work a full-time, like ridiculously busy job. If I finish a session and I can do a round of mandatories, I'll do a round of mandatories. If you get to your check-ins at the weekend, was it you were on about this the other day and you're flagging by your check-ins? Then you need to do a few rounds before your check-ins and send in your best round. You need to make sure you're not rusty. So I think even if you have no time in the week, which everyone has time to do a fucking round, like whenever they train.
I just used to do it when I was working full-time as well, and I was doing 60, 70 hours a week on a construction site while I was prepping for the first timers. I'd just pose after every session. Like I'd finish my session and just pose for 15 minutes afterwards, hit mandatories, and then a little bit of routine. And I'd do that pretty much every day. I mean, 15 minutes longer on your session. I mean, you can get stuck in traffic for 15 minutes on the way back from the gym, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think as like, not everyone can pose fantastically, but this year we've said it consistently as well. Every single top 3 has had a posing coach or been taught to pose or can pose. And it's always guys that look really good in like 4th or 5th, but they've not got anywhere near what they wanted because they can't pose.
Yep.
So even if you're not getting someone, even if you're not like, if you don't have like me or you teaching them, even if you don't have that, just watch what you look like when you do your mandatories and do rounds after the gym. Just do one round every session.
This is why I record it back and watch what you're doing, because you can always adjust, move things slightly. It's no different to assessing your training footage. You know, you send your coach and like, this is a bit, my tempo is a bit too quick and I didn't realize it. It's the same with posing. Just watch it back on a video and you think, I just need to move my feet slightly an inch to the left, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you were saying.
That's what I say about people's back shots. Like if people have trouble, no matter what, feel like it looks like, hold it for 5 seconds when you record it, so you know when you watch it back, or the first or the second time, it felt like that when I held it like that, and that was the closest one. So I'll do that again and I'll just adjust from there and just change it little bits by little bits.
Yeah, man, definitely. 100%. Second one off the back of that from Joe as well was tips to nail posing if you can't afford a posing coach. Quite like this one. That's a good question. I would say there's so much things available today that don't charge you money, like YouTube. But there's so many videos on YouTube about posing. There's also the Physique Collective, which is
we have
$6.99 a month. There's posing content on there from seminars. There is now a posing ask me or yourself on there about posing tips.
That's what I was just about to say. Me and Leon have started, Leon started on the forum and me and Leon are sub to it. So every time anyone asks a question, you can ask for some feedback on a pose and we will give you that feedback. How about try this? Send an image back onto the post or anything like that with like annotations, like could you move your lats around that way, like rotate your feet a little bit more and give you guys feedback. So like there's stuff out there, even if you like, what's that, $6.99 a month, and look how much content you get, not just from us, from everything. But like I haven't even looked on YouTube in so long, but I know even when I was like a year or two ago, even back then, Lee Labrada was taking people through stuff and like talking through mandatories and stuff like that.
I always, when I was trying to learn and when I got a bit obsessed with it as well, which was literally you can just look at photos and just look at people's leg positioning more than anything. Just half the battle in it. You see guys, they can hit the pose at the top, but then the legs just aren't set up right, and it just doesn't sit right on the whole pose altogether, especially if you're talking classic poses. There's nothing worse when someone's trying to do like the slanted hips classic front double, but you know what I mean, when like the legs just don't set up right and they're pushing the hips out the wrong way, the arms are going the wrong way. It's like some helter skelter.
Message us about it. Message, even if it's not us, even if you're close to someone that is a good poser at the gym, like just message someone like, hey man, can you help me with this? I was just wondering. Like me and Leon both do consults as well. Like my shortest consult is an hour, half an hour, and yours is the same, isn't it? So for even people that don't want a posing lesson, to talk about stuff and maybe go over one pose, that's something perfect for somebody.
Literally. So back to you, big dog. What you got?
You. There are any juicy ones? Yes, Gareth. Make the ultimate physique with the Physique Collective boys muscle groups.
Right, let's start from the face. I'd say if we're talking face, I don't know.
Will Bassnett for the face, mate. I've never seen a woman interview Will Bassnett. And it's like that meme of Flex Lewis, and she's like biting the lip while she's interviewing him. They just absolutely melt when they speak to Will.
I'd probably say Mark Wright. Oh no, I mean fucking Matt. Yeah, probably go for Matt. So Matt's head. And then if you're going down to delts, I'd probably say, there'd definitely be your delts, 100%. Slap 2 cannonballs on there. Chest is going to be Kirk's because man's got about a 20-foot chest. Literally like 2 road cones. They're like 2 road cones on the side of the motorway. They're fucking wham. Midsection is going to be Will Bassnett because his abs are absolutely crazy.
Gareth's quads.
Yeah. It's got to be Gareth's quads.
The boss's calves.
Yeah, Joe's calves. I know exactly how he gets them when he walks, because man walks on his tiptoes. He's constantly doing calf raises.
Me and Kirkham were fucking dying walking yesterday. With our glass backs, walking out of shit. So I'm trying to keep up with him. Like, I'm nearly 40 pounds up. Like, give me a rest.
His calves. Kirkham's biceps again. I don't know.
Joe's got really good arms though as well.
Joe's got good arms, yeah. Back wise, yeah, Christian's got a great back double. Probably be
Yeah.
Christian's back double. Yeah, that's probably about it, isn't it? Glutes.
Probably your
No,
arm.
I'd probably keep my own glutes. I quite like how my glutes stick out.
You got a good butt, man.
No homo. You got a good butt, man.
I remember you were deep in prep, and I was like, we we're both deep in prep. You know, in like that emotional stage. I was like, Leon, no homo, but I just love how your glutes look, man.
Isn't that bodybuilder stuff in it? Like your expectations that I'm going to get wham and I'm going to get so much pussy, and in reality, it's just guys saying how nice your glutes look and how good your legs look. Like, yeah, bro, your biceps are well good.
Well, at my show, I fucking got naked backstage, and Will Bassett took a photo of me and he messaged me the day. He was like, mate, that was still the most mental photo I've ever taken. Like, his favorite photo he took is like my ass fully fucking naked backstage.
But bodybuilding is a world that not a lot of people understand. It's a funky one. There we go. So we got one from my friend Bill Goody. Shout out Bill. Bill's been with me since day one. He has said, how can we hide weak points without making it obvious to the judges? So weak points, weaker body parts, I'm presuming. I'd say just selection of poses. I mean, like we say, like everyone has a different structure. It's knowing what poses suit you. If you got like I say for myself, I don't vacuum from the front because my rib cage just doesn't sit nice. It doesn't look nice on me. So I would do it I'd only vacuum from the side because it looks good. So that would be a weak point for me, I suppose.
I think what I would say is, like, you know, if it's in the case of like a mandatories and where you can't get away from it, that's like how the pose is designed.
Yeah.
Making sure the silhouette just makes sense in how you're posing. So, like, you know, in a side chest, how we teach you to do it, where no matter whether you're classic or open, your hands come underneath the rib cage because it closes the gaps as you turn to the side, like in between the arms. If you do that, but your trunk is straight as well, rather than like trying to bend back and show the arms because you've got no chest or anything, it just looks pretty when the body just sat like perfectly how it's meant to be, rather than, you know, trying to distract from it is kind of a bit making it obvious sometimes, I feel.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, there was another one which was how to know what type of pose suits your structure, which is pretty similar, I suppose. From as well.
Work to your strengths. Just work to your strength. Like big reach and stuff doesn't really work for me, like big swing and stuff, because I've got like real short little T-Rex arms. So more like casual stuff suits me. Whereas you've got like orangutan arms, so like rear double suit you like crazy.
The monkey arms.
Well, we've got oh mate, Christian sent a savage one in about himself. He said, what's my best and my worst pose?
Oh,
bring him up, man, for the viewers. Let's take a look.
All right, yeah, let's have a look at the egg. There we go.
The egg, I also think, is just uber critical about himself when he is actually
100%. 100%. All right, where the fuck there? Christian Physique Collective. The big man. Look at man's head. Look, he is eating his shoulders at the minute. Look at the size of him. She's just chilling there like a Cadbury's cream egg and that, look, with the rest of this body. Absolute wandingoed himself.
He has actually got fucking enormous.
So I would say straight away, if we're talking like being straight up with Christian's best pose for me would be a back double.
I think it's his front double.
Yeah, they both look good because the way he pulls the vacuum for him as well, it looks good as well because the lats sit nice at the front. The vacuum sits nice. Obviously, he's the most pilled man I've ever seen in my life. To witness that in person and have to stand next to that motivated me to do more cardio because look at the state of it.
Yeah. Also, this when you were saying about hitting a vacuum when it suits you, it really suits. If you look at, like, for the viewers that are watching this, how his rib cage and his lats and his arms marry up. And if you see it even goes down into his legs, just the X frame just it suits it. There's no off lines there. They're all bang on.
You know, Christian's front double will actually look really classic. Like, if I'm being honest, if you look at the lines on him,
Pick him in classic, bro.
Yeah, man. Christian's going to come back 300 pounds. He's not even worried about classic.
So are you.
Bro, I'm already 300 pounds. I'd say probably the worst pose for Christian.
Yeah, if he wants us to be straight up and logical, that's the point. I would probably say his abs and thigh.
Yeah.
Like if he hit it square up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just for Christian where he has them. There's a few people that just have them abs. No matter how much they train their abs, they just don't.
Never trains them.
Yeah, they just never sit forward. Right? Do you know what I mean? Some people just have that, and there's just nothing you can really do about that, is there?
He never trains them. I think if he hammered them this off season to just hit it like a pretty, like a blocky core,
yeah,
like strong cinder block abs, and they hit it straight up, because in his front double how his legs sit, and like in that most muscular there,
yeah,
how his legs sit, if he had like rock solid core,
yeah,
would look bang on.
Yeah, man.
But I think as well, when the way he does hit his abs and thigh, like a semi most muscular, he makes a feature of showing how fucking lean his legs and obliques are as well. So that's another example, like hiding a pose well.
Who needs abs when you've got fucking Charles Dickens fountain pen here, like on his legs? Look at the state of them feathers. The Charles Dickens collection all running down his legs.
Do you know what my favourite thing about prep was? When he was like a week out and Joe sent him a voice note about his check-in, and he goes, "Bro, remember what you were saying about like, what if we just got leaner?" He goes, "I just think you'd die. I just think you just, like, if we carried on dieting you'd just die."
He probably would just die. Like, he was going to get to the point where Thanos has gone like that. Man's just going to turn to dust. Oh, man. I'll tell you while we're on Instagram, let's rate and have a look at routine. What page was it on? What was my man that just did the routine at the Arnold? Samson, yeah. There we go. Did he post it today?
It might have been on buys and tries. Oh no, yeah, is that? Yeah.
Don't think I'll play the music because you might get done. Do you reckon?
Yeah, and also I don't know how it will actually sound getting recorded. It might go a bit mad.
Yeah, but look at the size of him, man.
He's like a Belgian blue cow, and he's fucking massive. Jeez.
Yeah, man.
You know what? Actually, I'm really glad. For people not watching this, Samson is such a gifted poser, but he went through a phase of like trying to like body pop like Kai Green.
Oh man,
where he like just didn't have the rhythm for it, and he's done like a real, for those of you that aren't watching this, done a real beautiful song as a tribute to Mountain Dog, like John Meadows, that passed away as he was coaching him for a while, and everything is just slow, controlled, contracted, like artistic. Really good, man.
Look at that. That was right on the drop as well, man. It was so sick. But it's just nice to see the big guys hitting poses like this, because it just frustrates me. And people are like, "Oh, I can only pose like a bodybuilder." It's like, bro, we're all bodybuilders. It's just classic, like, have certain different
people always say that as well.
Yeah.
What, there's no one bigger than you in the world that can pose?
You know what I mean? Look at this dude. How much does Samson weigh? Look how he's getting down. It's because
he got me like 270 on stage.
Yeah.
But as well, this actually goes to as well, like about flexibility. Like if you watched how Diasha pose, man, that looked painful. Him trying to get his shoulders into poses. That was like
when he like dislocates his wrist.
That could have really cost him it, because he really couldn't hit a back shot. And it actually pays to look after your body, kid. Says the guy that's absolutely trashed at the minute. I know, but like, mate, I need it.
Ryan's out here walking around with a back like Amir Khan's chin.
Yeah, I need a fucking weightlifting belt just to walk the dogs, man. It's awful.
Anyway, is there anyone else to physique to look at while we're here? Is there anyone else to rate?
To look at. No one's asked me to rate them, man, but you can feel free to fire some shots.
Start calling man out. Oh.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that without instigated.
No. There needs to be shots fired first.
Kirkham's asked a good question.
Go on.
Ted, what's the one pose you see most people doing badly and butchering?
Quarter turn. Yeah, side relaxed. Quarter turns, side relaxed. 100%. Well, there's so many people butcher so many poses. Like every single mandatory at a show, wherever you go, is butchered to fuck. At least one guy. If they're not posed by me or yourself, it's butchering.
Yeah. Mine is just the fucking twisting shots. Look,
what that twisting.
I'm not big, right? I'm very aware I'm not a big bodybuilder. Like people, oh, you got massive, you got stacked up. I'm not a big bodybuilder yet, but I've been around the block for a few years, man. And there's a reason I waited until this fucking year, to hit a twisting rear double shot because I couldn't fucking hit it, and I didn't want to look like a fucking spastic on stage trying to hit it. So as Arnold said, if you don't have it, don't hit it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's really nice. To be fair, it's really hard to get hold of, man. I think people just can't grasp it, like the internal connection you have to have with your muscle. They just think about flexing stuff rather than how should it actually feel to get in that pose. And there's no athleticism as well in a lot of people, like like flexibility, like Samson or anything like that. And if you got someone that's tight as a duck's arse, like imagine Nathan Gasher trying to hit that pose.
I reckon he'd probably put his hip out straight up.
No, but that is the pose I've seen butchered the most this season because classic is so far on the rise. Posing is apparently so far on the rise. Everyone wants to do a really good routine. At least everyone wants to put the time in. I've seen that twisting rear double just fucking murdered this season.
I love a twisting double, me. Love it. Do you know? Yeah, there is a few people that do butcher it really badly in there. And there was one that called my posing out as well, that butchered it really badly. And he's got no way to talk because it was the most awkward thing I've ever seen. But anyway, we won't drop names.
No business.
What made you want to start this? Can't remember who this is from, but I'd just say the original idea actually came from Jasmine Jeffrey, who said about, why don't you do a posing podcast? So I thought, do you know what? No one's really doing a posing podcast that I know anyway. There's a bit of a gap there. And one, it is just good for everyone because they can get tips on posing, they can get ratings on posing. I think it's just what bodybuilding needs, to be talking about posing more. There's a lot of people saying, make posing great again, but we need to be enforcing it more and getting more people to talk about the presentation.
I think as well, just the ease of how, why our group are actually friends, because they're easily approachable and we're not fucking stuck up like retards. Everyone just gets along and they're just normal to talk to. Like everyone on the member side, everyone loves just chatting to us and everybody. So having a podcast out there where everything is relatable and you feel welcome sending questions in and asking for advice and you feel like you're actually a part of something, I think as well as a good idea to get it started.
100%. Got another one here. Do you think posing comes more naturally to some than others?
Yeah, literally. You can always teach somebody to pose, but there is 1,000,000% you've either got it or you haven't, in the way that how someone will be able to just fluently pick it up and move. You can always teach someone, mate, look at Matt Thomas, your client that you've had, they did the first timers in. That man went from not being able to hit a single pose to actually literally being the best poser in his whole class because he hammered everything so well.
Joe, I was so proud of that. I was like a proud dad watching him, man. After working with him for so long.
He's such a guy as well.
He went from having no confidence posing, because that's half the battle, isn't it? Is confidence. Yeah. Having absolutely zero confidence posing to just absolutely throwing shapes. That's what we'd love to see.
It's weird as well. The best posers as well, that are naturally the best posers, are kind of people that aren't actually that confident in general. But it's when they pose, it's like a switch. For me, it's like something. It's like it's not me. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know, putting an act on, or it's like just displaying what you've worked, or what you've worked on, or like something. I don't know. It's weird. So it's not like it's me as a bodybuilder or like as a person. It's just like you little put the mask on and off you go, man.
Yeah, man. It's an expression, isn't it? Posing. It's just, it is. Yeah, it's an expression and a passion.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone can always improve, but you're always going to. It's just like the genetic elite, like with whatever sport. You're always going to get people that just are gifted with whatever.
100%.
We've got more? Yeah, Big Will. What is your favorite routine of all time and by who? Big love, fellas. Big love yourself.
Big love, my G. I would say favorite routine of all time. See, there's a lot of older ones, old school routines that are absolutely mustard and are second to none. But I still just like Terence. Like, for me, it's just what I've seen a lot more of, obviously, because it's my era. Terence. So probably the countdown routine.
That was very good. Wasn't that the other Arnold?
That was at the other Arnold, yeah.
Yeah, that was very good.
Yeah,
I think that's my favorite of his as well. It's weird with Terence. I think because there is nobody on this planet right now that is as good as him in the professional ranks. Like, it's almost as if you don't speak about him. It's almost as if it don't catch your attention because it's like just a given of how good he is. Like, you don't even notice it.
Like, no one, he does a routine like, right, that's sick. It's just like, but it's just Terence in it. No one.
Yeah, because you expect him to put that out. It's like you don't even notice it.
It's the same as C-Bum now turning up to Olympia. It's like, even if no one turns up, like, they might as well not turn up because he's just going to win anyway. Just like, yeah, it's C-Bum. We know what he's about. Now he's coming with an extra 20 pounds. Jeez.
Favorite one of the time is really, I think it's Bob Paris, and I think it's in the 80. Is it the 88 Olympia where he's got the white trunks on? That's a very good one. And a thing I love about Bob Paris is really funny as well, because if he hits a bodybuilding pose, he doesn't look very good. Like, he doesn't. Like, it's like, I mean, that's why he didn't win many shows, because like in actual mandatories, he wasn't very good. But when you
best pose he looks is when he stood still on it.
Yeah, when he just moves around slowly, and it's like, I love it because you can like almost hear a pin drop in how he moves. It's like the audience are just fully waiting for the whole thing.
Definitely. And obviously all the Lee Labrada ones, obviously the iconic one with the rotating archer when he comes around. Yeah. I just liked how they had the music and the dramatic music years ago as well. Just bang on the beats with the movements. It was just
every single athlete as well posed like that as well, with like similar music and like similar.
You didn't win back then if you didn't have a good routine. It was the complete opposite.
Yeah,
it's the complete opposite to what it is nowadays, and that's the sad thing as well. Because it started as entertainment, didn't it? Same with most sports, like the women's fitness division started as like an entertainment side.
Yeah,
and it slowly turned into a competitive side. It's odd.
As Sammy and John would say, make posing great again.
Yes, my G. That is what we want. Last one for me here was from a client of mine who competed at the Arnolds, actually, Matt. Shout out, Matt. He said, when things don't go in normal order on show day, i.e. at the Arnolds UK, the amateur didn't let us do the routine. So we got thrown off for the day. How would you improvise going about that? Because obviously, apparently it was so busy. Like,
yeah,
he spent weeks with me practicing this routine, got it bang on, turns up on the day and they're like, yeah, well, you're not doing the routine today. You're just doing the little, what, like two bros do, like the little eye walk for the men as well, isn't it?
You know, I'd say from this is like, yeah, I've learned this from experience as well, because it's happened to me. I did PCA Body Power, and this was the first show. They got so busy, they didn't expect it, and it had to be done by 5 p.m. the show. And they only let like a certain, like the top 3 or whatever, do their routines. So everyone, like, I'd practiced my ass off, and I was like, what the fuck? And I hadn't recorded it anywhere. I hadn't recorded it in a studio or anything like that. It was one of my favorite routines I ever made. It was to slip, not snuff, and it was like, I actually loved it. But like, it's something you did really well this season. You took full advantage of being in shape and full advantage of posing, and took photos and videos. You like, even like you and I are going out in the sunset, like, you know, where you're by the canal or by the river, you took shots. Man, everybody that's prepping now or prepping in the future, if you're a good poser, fucking just record it. Go somewhere scenic, just do it, because one, it's awesome content for you to put out when you want to put it out and get a bit busier, or you ain't fucking lean anymore and you want some traffic to your Instagram. But two, when you get a kick in the teeth, at least you've got it there written, because that's one thing I wish I've recorded. Like, it's happened to me in the past, man. And like, no matter what happens on show day, like, a lot of people get a kick in the teeth. It's only the people that win on show day, that don't have a kick in the teeth. So what's that, like 9 people out the entire fucking day? Like,
but there's always shit like that happens, isn't it? I think you've just got to, if you've practiced enough, you should be in a good spot to improvise. Like, perfect example, me at the FitX, they didn't have my song. When I come out to it, I already had the trimmed version of the Michael Bublé, Feeling Good, to the perfect point to match on every single pose. You know how anal me and you are about posing, matching the beats. And obviously they didn't have it, so they just had to get the normal version up that started from a complete different part of the completely different cue of the song. So I just had to free pose. But I mean, if you compose, you compose. You just ride it out. You know what I mean? Style it out.
Are good and have a routine written for you, like, you're natural at it, you're naturally going to be able to put like 3, 4, 5 poses together anyway in like a little sequence. When everyone roughly knows a song, that you know when it's roughly going to build up, just
prepare for the 60-second pose down. Do you know what I mean? When you start going for it there,
you end up doing your routine in a pose down all the time, every single time.
I'll try and like hit the Guinness Book of Records. How many poses can I hit in a minute? Flat out.
I don't think I got a pose down at 2 rows.
No,
I don't know if I probably just spat my tummy out and fucking walked off.
yeah, that's what it did. You walked off and then put about 5 cookie dealers down your neck.
Yeah.
Inhaled them.
I remember Brandon was on after me. He went, "How did it go?" And I went, "Shit," and just walked past him.
Absolutely gutted.
There's nothing like getting your ass handed to you.
Yeah, man. It happens to the best of us. It does indeed. Well, that's me done for questions there. I don't know if you've got any more. Have you got any more?
No, I'm out of questions. But if there's anything else you wanted to cover on like the Arnold or like the big Arnold that just happened.
Yeah, I mean,
we could stand out physiques that you liked from the big Arnold.
Do you know what? I hadn't seen much of Shane Cullen before.
Oh, from this one, yeah.
And I see his posing last night for the first time. I don't know where I'd been living to not see it. Mate, Shane did unreal
seasons that I did as well. So I've like known who Shane was from there. Fucking unbelievable.
So good. It was so good.
He's one of the best posers. Well, he's not in the UK, he's in Ireland. He might be in over. Yeah, I think he's Belfast way actually, but unbelievable. So good.
Great physique as well. Like, I think he could have won it. It was just Michael was like skinless and wham.
So peeled. I love Jack Connors posing as well.
Yeah, Jack Connors posing is quite nice, especially for a taller guy as well, because he's quite stringy as well, isn't he? Where he's so tall, so he hasn't really got that side.
He did Saxon the same year that I did it, and he won the classic tour class. Yeah, mate, he was a class act. He's really, really good.
Jeez. But yeah, I was impressed with the posing, actually. Some of the posing at the Arnold was great. Some of it was obviously awful, as you do get with some posing, but that is what it is. Some people just don't look at it in that light. They hit mandatories and that's it. It's like so many people's routines are made up from just mandatories.
Yeah, but as well, like the cream of the crop always rises to the top, and in a category like classic, they're never going to really shine. Even no matter how great they look, if they can't pose with shit, they're never going to beat Chris Bumstead, are they? They're never going to beat Terence, like they're never going to rise above it. Well,
you could say that, but obviously with Chris can pose decent, and he's got obviously the physique, but Terence can pose probably godlike, got a good physique, but not quite as good as Chris's, is it? So
I think he'll get second again this year.
I think we're going to see Mr. Classic up there, this top 5 Tim's.
I do hope Terence gets second this time. I hope Robert don't beat him. Well, did you see the natty guy that was in the Arnold Classic in the US? That Jarek Crew.
No.
He can pose, man. He can fucking really pose.
Let's have a look. Never heard of him. So a geek.
Whether his routine's going to be up there. But he's coached by Cameron Cheek. It's Jarek.
Jared Crew.
No, Jarek. It's called.
Jarek.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know if his whole routine's on there, man, but he's got some shots on there.
Oh, dude was quite old. The older dude.
No, he's dyed his beard. That's what it is.
Oh, dyed his beard. Bro, that's a sick.
Fucking pose like crazy. He's so good. He's natty.
Natty.
Yeah.
Bro, he's on that same weight as Simone Biles is.
There's an IGTV of it. Maybe it's on there.
Jeez.
Go up a little bit. It's like on the left-hand side. Oh, there we are. That Tony Tavares is really good as well.
Yeah. Tony the GOAT in it.
Yeah.
Another one with some great posing. Let's have a look. Some fun.
You know, when like people can just hit stuff beautifully. There's nothing that's a mistake. Yeah. Like, you know, the twisting shots or anything like that. It just looks great.
Smooth. That's good. See, like even the little tweaks. See that there? This is like the little things. Let's have a look. See where he's here? That little turn out of the leg he did just to show more more quad as well. It's these little touches when you see with good poses, you know. Watch the leg go. It's boom. It's these little attention to detail in it that not a lot of people put into it. That's why you appreciate.
Oh, look at the feet in position. How far is over that front knee? Beautiful.
This is like you would say when you see someone that they haven't got the foot flat to the floor. You just want to jump on the stage and headbutt them.
I could fucking punch people when they do that. Very good.
Right, I like that pose he did then. I might have to nick that one, you know. He went from the twisted back double to like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, bro. I'm sure he's only like your age and that. He's fucking right animal.
Nuts.
The thing is, as well, like we're watching this now. For everyone that isn't obviously watching this, the pros are allowed like 3 minutes on stage. Yeah. And trying to plan that in and hold poses is actually so hard when you only get a minute. And when people send you a song, you got to trim and chop it. It's really the right mood. That's why when I always say, like, when someone sends me a song, choose something with vocals and a drop in, so we have a contrast of like 30 seconds of soft stuff with a bigger drop to the song. So it's easy to change the mood and to hit bigger poses, go from smaller poses to bigger poses.
Nice. Yeah, that was good, man.
That was beautiful.
Very, very tidy. But like you say, with like when they get like 3 minutes, they can take their time with these routines and just go so slowly through some of the poses as well. So much better. So much better. So I think that is around this first episode wrapped up, I'd say.
That's got to be about an hour. Easily.
Yeah, it must be more than an hour. I can't see on here, but it's got to be more than an hour, 100%. Covered all the questions.
Again.
What's that?
Said Ryan Rambleby checking in again.
Yeah, man. Ryan Rambleby on the thing. That was good. I think that was a great first episode. We've covered everything. So
yeah, man. So thank you everybody that's giving this a listen, that's watching this, that's been a part of this, that sent questions in. Obviously, the more questions we get in, the more rate my physique. We won't be too brutal if you don't want us to be, but it'd be really, really nice, man, for people to send us some posing videos, some mandatories, some check-in shots. And also when we're on about like asking for help, this is free help, man. Just send stuff into the podcast and we'll critique and like go over your posing and stuff like that. And just give people a better idea of how to hit things, how to go about everything.
Yeah, see, that's the beauty of it, isn't it? Just sending in your routines if you're unsure of your posing. We are here to look over it, 2 sets of eyes to look over your posing to your nice prim and proper.
Yeah, and then obviously we're going to try and get some guests on. I know Big Soph wants to come on. Big Daddy wanted to come on Kirkham, but I think he just wanted to strip on webcam for everybody. So
Yeah, do you know what? I think we should get. I think we'll do another one next weekend, and we get a sofa next week and then go over some more women's posing.
yeah, definitely. It'd be nice. It'd be nice for me and you to get an insight into that massive.
Yeah, because we need some more education on that ourselves. So
real good.
Let's wrap that up here anyway, my guys. So appreciate you all for tuning in, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you very much.